What's up, fam?
So, what's up, fam? All right, just keeping it real with Charles and Nope, we ain't on that today. Got a question for you. Are you really ready for a relationship?
Are you? Like, for real? That's what we're going to talk about today.
We're going to hit it today.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, look, fam, we're going to talk about it. If you're ready, we're going in. So, when it comes down to dating, are you dating with a purpose in mind, or are you dating just to slay? Hey, man. All right, you got me. So listen. All right. So one of the things is we want to talk about the what?
The 3 phases of dating.
The 3 phases of dating.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about discovery being one of those phases. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about the discerning phase, and we're going to talk about
development.
Okay, all right.
What does all that mean?
Right, we're going to break it down for you. We're going to share it. And if you got any comments you want to bring in, you can do that. And we're looking to hear your experience and whatever you have to offer to the discussion here today. So, first phase, we're going to talk about discovery phase.
Yeah.
Just like in the trial, they go through and they call what they discovery, where they're gathering what? Yeah. All the information, the facts that they're going to present. Yeah. The same thing you do when you're dating. You're gathering the facts because you're going to have to make a decision in the end.
Yeah. So we got the introduction stage.
This is,
under the discovery. So, when you go out here and you are interested in dating, the first thing you have to do is see whether or not, where am I going to meet these people? Where will this person?
Yeah,
people,
right.
Where today's society, you're going out. You got social media. You've got the swipe apps, the dating apps, things like that. And you're going out to the club.
And
whatever.
Church is one of those places too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people talk about church. So I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Okay,
the old-fashioned way that some people talk about, that's kind of faded.
Introductions and all. Hey, man, let me introduce you to my. Yeah. I guess that may be a thing of the past, or is very little to a degree. It still happens.
Yeah, but we still have places like meetups. We've got church events, like you said, libraries and coffee shops, things like that. Getting to meet someone. Where am I going to meet? Meet this person. Yeah. And then when you have established that, and you have met the person, and you're working into your introductory phase.
Okay, before you do that, I'm gonna say, let's just go ahead and say where we met at. We met at a park.
We met at a park.
Yeah, teenagers at a park doing a dance and spotted there.
How we looking at this now is like, okay, so now that I've met you, now I need to find out something about you.
Yeah, right. Gathering the information as we talked about.
Right. So are we compatible? So I'm trying to figure out, is this somebody that I can jive with? This is somebody I'm okay, cool with?
Sure.
So as you are going through your discovery or introduction phase, you're going to talk about the whether or not they have goals.
Goals, right. Aspirations. What motivate you? Yes. Yeah. So you're gathering that information. So again, question.
What you want to think about here is, have you ever made an investment in something and it turned out to be counterfeit?
Oh.
So during this time of discovery, you want to make sure you don't have no counterfeits.
Authenticity is the goal.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So
absolutely.
And bottom line, you want to know, is there
are we
mutual
are we connected?
Connection.
Is there some kind of mutual connection here? Are you feeling me? Am I feeling you? Or is your intellectual conversation stimulating? Or that's the basics.
Okay, that's the discovery phase.
Yeah.
The second phase we're going to talk about today is
the discernment.
The discernment phase. You've heard the word. You hear a lot in church people discerning this spirit, So it's a spirit of perception, or being able to perceive something, or recognize. Well, I'm saying it like my mama, recognize. But anyway, so what we say here is being able to recognize what's going on with a person. Are they truthful? Are they honest? And that's the thing. So that's the second phase. So and in that phase, you're going to make decisions, or you're going to ask the questions. What, like,
where am I going with this?
where's this thing headed? Yeah.
I mean, are we making any steps progress in this relationship, or are we just wasting each other's time?
Yeah, kicking it, as some say, really.
Yeah.
And so
what you have to identify is, I need to get some clarification.
We need clarity. And a lot of times, asking the question, say, what are we? That causes people to run. That's it. This thing about to get serious. Let me go. Oh, no. There we starting to discern. We're starting to recognize where we headed. Right. So with that,
you have to have clarification over chemistry, though.
Absolutely.
I maybe, it's like, oh, he looks good. I mean, this is interesting.
Okay, I like that. And also,
I like what I see.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. We'll wait till afterwards.
All right.
Okay, so wait a minute. Then the other part of this thing is this. Okay, you want to also use wisdom, or have wisdom working over your wants and desires. Right. So it's just like, I want to have, exactly. I want her that way. Right. Boom.
I like him to have this muscular physique.
That's all good.
I want him to drive this. I want him to be in this situation.
6
that's
figures,
not to say
6 feet tall.
No, that's not to say now. Let's not mess it up. That's not to say that there's nothing wrong with those wants.
You can have your wants and desires.
But don't take that over the wisdom.
You gotta have wisdom in the process.
You gotta think over that.
Right.
And that wisdom is thinking to yourself, when you're talking and communicating, are you responsible financially? You got yourself straight?
Right.
I mean, how you...
I let credit.
However it comes
well, not
out,
necessarily like that, but you want to know.
Over time,
because you got to know. You got to know. They will affect.
It's going to take time as you are getting to know each other. In the introductory phase, in the discernment phase, as time go on, something going to show.
Right. And another area, it's the area of health.
Yes.
Because again, and I'm not trying to get anybody to violate any HIPAA laws or anything, but you'll need to know the health status of the person that you're with, that if you're considering a relationship with or a marriage with, so definitely.
And even like the history of family, maybe,
right.
Because it's important, and people have to realize that when you take that commitment, that final step, and you make a commitment, you're inheriting everything.
Sure, absolutely, right.
So it's important for you to know what you're getting into.
Absolutely.
So over time, as you're talking about these things and y'all discussing these things, you want to be clear.
Right.
Be clear over your chemistry, over what I'm feeling for him.
Right.
And you need to have the wisdom over your wants.
And the thing too, when it comes down to family, you want to know, how do you treat your mother? Right. How do you treat your father? And others there. And so you want to watch those things, or be definitely on your toes about it, and have that discerning thing going on again to see.
And some people who may have had children, so what's your relationship with your children?
Yes.
And what's your relationship with your children's parent, mother or father?
Right.
So how could that affect?
Wait, you talking about baby mama drama? I think is what you're trying. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely.
You don't want daddy.
It is daddy drama either. So, but you got to work these things out. That's part of discerning and asking those questions. You got to kind of put it out there. Don't be blind to it, or be so much in love as you think. And then you walk into it and you ignore those signs.
Right. Because that takes over. That shows that you didn't use the wisdom, and you was looking at the wants.
Sure.
And you was also looking at the chemistry.
Right.
Instead of clarifying what you need to have before getting too deep into that.
And one important one, one area is the area of religion.
Yeah.
Because and that's one factor. We want to know, where are you? Where do you stand? What are your beliefs?
Right.
What's priority or what's important to you?
Yeah.
You want to know. Okay, what about your faith? Several things that we want to know. Right. And because some of this, can be a conflict and can be a deal breaker. Thank you, my love. But so, question.
So, what you want to sit and think is, do I have a future here?
Right.
I mean, do I see myself with a future with this individual?
You got to ask the question. You got to ask the question.
Even if it's internalizing, that whole thought process.
Sure.
So,
got to ask the question. Right.
Yeah.
So the third phase
development.
It's the development phase.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you know what development is. You've heard developers. What are they doing? They're building for the most part. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're building and you're constructing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that's the thing. So as you're doing that, you want to see, can we commit to a life together?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what you want to know. Like, can we do this thing together? Sure enough.
And all the things that we talked prior, all of these got to be come to the forefront.
So in other words, you're still discovering, even in those phases. My wife and I, we've been together. Next month we would have met 47 years. We would have met and we would be married in July.
40 years.
40 years. Yeah. So now let me ask you, I'm going to ask you, are you still discovering?
I am still.
I'm still discovering.
I'm telling you.
I ain't trying to tell what she said she discovered last week.
But I can get too much of that. Yeah, we still discovering each other.
Still discovering. So it's still a journey. Yes.
That's right. So over the course of time, as you are going through these phases, you will eventually get to the discovery phase of, where do we want to go from here? Once you've gone through those first two steps, now we're in the development. Do we want to build a life together?
Sure. Right. Exactly.
Are we connecting?
Got to be a connection. That's the thing.
And let's not get it twisted now, because everything is not going to connect.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Okay, everything is going.
So okay. I'm gonna have to stop you there. Excuse me, but does everything connect with us?
No, not even still.
Lord, no.
Because I'm an individual. He's an individual.
I tell you.
Right?
Yeah, right, correct. So with that, are we committed to the relationship?
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
And can we accept each other's differences and who we are? Can we accept that? You better.
It's too late.
No.
It's too late. It's too late to turn back now.
Yes, I'm talking about in your development
I know,
stage.
baby.
I know.
So yeah, we do. We accept that though. At times even there may be the clashes of whatever because of the difference, but we still navigate and we still move forward.
And then then you're gonna continue to see how he or she gonna handle when the connection ain't connected.
Sure, right. Yeah. So right. And the thing about it, again, as you mentioned, do we have a connection? Do we see a future in this?
Right.
Like, can we see a future?
Right.
And then you're going to talk about the commitment level. That's one thing I asked you about, that we talked about the commitment. And so having the commitment there. So we're going to go over some of the questions. We did a podcast a few years back, and it was called.
Before you say I do.
It was called Questions to Ask Before. You got to go back and listen to our video. That's what you ought to check it out.
I know what it is.
Yes.
But the questions to ask before you say I do.
Absolutely.
And that goes from getting to meet somebody, going through development, getting to identify what are we. If you're going to run because we have identified what we are, then okay, I'm here. I am here.
Oh boy, I'm about to get hit again, y'all. Okay, so
are we gonna run? Are we gonna run, or are we gonna stay?
Sure.
So we did that. Go back and check that out. We'll try to put it in
we'll have a link.
In there for you to reference back to that.
Sure.
But just a couple questions that we continuously have, because these are not the old questions.
Not all inclusive list, not by any means.
Right.
So,
right. But as you are building this relationship for something to have longevity and continuation of whatever, 10, 15, 40, 50 years.
60, 70.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So you want to first know, what is your priority with God?
Yeah. Well, which is important. Some people, it may not be important to them. To them, like, God, what? But
I mean, do you have what faith do you have? What's your connection with God? Where do you go when things are really down? Or who do you praise when you have been blessed?
Sure.
So, what kind of connection? You want to know what kind of stance a person have when it comes to something like that, and whether or not that's
what you're willing to accept. Because again, if you are a person of faith, it would, unless someone changes their, with the, I guess, like-minded when it came down to faith, that's the thing. So we're talking compatibility here. So one of the things would, definitely that would come up, and you would have to make a decision. Is this best for me, here? So we call that the deal
maker.
Deal maker or deal breaker?
Deal breaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are
Right.
into something a little too deep for me, that's not in my path of my walk, then you need to make that conscious decision
Mhm.
and not compromise on that.
Sure, right. And the thing next, let's talk about goals. Goals
Yeah.
are one of those things. What are some of your goals?
What do you?
And do the goals align? And if they, at least at some point, they ought to align.
Mhm.
We know people have certain interests and goals that may not align, or like you have some interests that I'm not into. I have
Right.
some that you're not into. So, but again, you have to decide, is that a deal breaker or deal maker?
Right, because
So, yeah.
like we say, we are all different individuals.
Right.
He has his interests, I have my interests. But do you really think that if whatever interest that you have, I don't have to have,
Sure.
I have to have some kind of liking to it? I may not want to,
Right.
I may not want to do what he
Yeah.
does,
Right.
but
You may enjoy watching he or
Exactly.
her do those things. So,
Exactly.
can I throw a scripture in there if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
I hadn't even said anything about the Bible. I'm gonna throw a scripture right
Okay.
now.
Mhm.
And one scripture comes to mind is Amos 3:3 says,
Mhm.
"Can two
To
walk together except they be agreed?"
Absolutely.
So
not.
that's the thing. That's got to be we can say the nucleus of moving forward.
Right.
We've got to be able to walk together or agree together that we can walk together.
Right.
Even sometimes in
When
our
you don't-
disagreement,
Right.
we can agree that we still gonna walk together.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So one of the other questions
As
you
we
asked,
talked
about
finances.
finances. How are your finances? Talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I did mention, hey, what's your credit score?
Right.
Because somebody's going to affect somebody else's. Number
Mhm.
one, if you got a 500 and that person may have a 700, getting together may have an impact on the total credit score.
Absolutely.
So you have to consider these things.
And over the time, as we
Mhm.
say, over time, as you getting to know this person, you'll start seeing whether or not they are responsible.
Absolutely right.
I mean, if he's got a car, and he's got a car payment, you'll tell whether or not he's struggling to make a car payment, or he stay by, has an apartment or a house or whatever. How he's managing his bills.
Sure. Right.
I mean, if he has children, whether or not he's taking time, he or she
Right.
taking time out to make sure that their needs are met as well.
And are they spending quality time
Spending
with their
quality
children?
time,
Right.
And that goes on to one of the other things is their views with children.
Exactly right.
You know,
Family view.
family
Right.
views.
Yeah. And we talked about that before because
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off a little bit, but it's just like this. If we said, "Hey, how many children would you like to have?"
One.
Well, I don't want any.
Oh,
So now, what compromises that
Right.
we both can be
There's no
satisfied?
compromise.
There is none. We
There's
can't have half a kid.
right.
So come
Right.
on. So there are some things you have to walk away from and stop wasting time.
Mhm.
You have got to value your time as
Right.
you're dating and
Mhm.
as you're going through to say deal maker or
deal
deal
breaker.
breaker.
And
Okay?
don't waste your time.
Sure.
So
Exactly. Time is valuable.
you may not be meant for each other. So
Right,
let's just
right.
keep it moving. And then, as I think we had mentioned before, being able to see how a person's anger or stress or how they deal with situations in life, what triggers, what.
Right. Okay. And we're not saying push any buttons, so don't get us wrong.
In
So
saying that.
because I'm just saying we're not saying push buttons to see how angry.
Intentionally.
Yeah, because we know life is going to bring enough situations
Right.
during your dating, depending on how long it is, that you're going to
It's gonna see
see
some
some
stuff.
emotions come through.
Right.
And if they don't handle anger or
Mhm.
stress too well, you're going to see.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Right.
And we are definitely not advocates of you can't handle if you handling your stress with putting your hands on me, you done.
Mhm.
We don't advocate for that.
Right.
So,
Absolutely not. Right. Mhm.
That's should be an automatic deal breaker.
Should. Yeah.
And
yes.
don't
Uh-huh.
allow your wants or what you see to make you feel like you got to stay in there.
Yes, right.
So,
Yes. Right. So the thing too, when it comes down to that, again, anger and stress. One thing you have got to learn patience in life and how to deal under
Mhm.
stressful situations.
absolutely.
So, and one other area which is a biggie. Go ahead. You can talk about
Is
a little bit.
what is your view on sex before marriage?
Ooh, she didn't go there, did she?
I did.
Okay.
Because, if we are going to take a stand
Mhm.
and look at the foundational, I understand
Mhm.
today's, I know what today is, okay?
Right, right.
And we not being ignorant to that. So, what I
Mhm.
want, what you doing?
No, I'm just.
Oh,
Mhm,
he's telling me I can't read his hand movement
No,
going
you
on.
make a noise. You read
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
y'all.
No.
So,
Mhm.
if you're trying to take a stand
Mhm.
and he's not, then how you gonna work that out?
Right.
Now,
Right.
unless somebody's gonna lower their value to accommodate somebody else.
Because it's just like this. How do you compromise this? If a person say, "Hey, I'm going to save myself," for my spouse or future spouse, and
Mhm.
then somebody else say, "Well, no, I think I'm going to go ahead and just do the do." So there's no compromise. How do you save yourself while they?
Right.
You don't. I mean,
Right.
unless you're going to agree to say, "Well, you can go out and do." No,
Or
no, don't even sign that.
if you
Hmm.
go with the agreement of, well, we're gonna try it before we buy it.
Oh boy,
Well, then
yeah.
we're still, we're not advocating for that.
Right. We're
Because
talking a pure relationship
right.
and one that pleases God.
So
That's the most part. Yeah. Mhm.
to that point, still you
Go
want to
ahead.
ask that question.
Yes.
So
Sure.
what are your views?
Right.
And y'all have to have a maker or breaker to that.
Yes. Right. Deal
So
maker, deal breaker.
right,
Yes.
right.
Right.
Then you
Okay.
also want to know, so how do you deal with friendships?
It could be exes, or
Right,
it could be just like my buddy, my girl, my
right.
boys, or whatever. How do you deal with those? Yeah.
Those are
Kind of
outside
relationships.
friendships.
Sure.
And it's like, are you gonna be hanging with the girls, getting your nail done, massage all the time, and not spending any quality time with your man?
Right. Or he playing the games with the boys, and hey man, we're going to the man cave. Man
Now
cave, we're
that's
going
not
to
to
be,
say. Now
not
come on, now
that
we
you
all
can't do that.
we
There
need
has
our
to be
time.
balance, right? There
Right,
has to be balance. But
right,
what we're saying that when things get off balance, can you deal with that? Is that
right.
something you want to deal with? So
Exactly.
these things have to be discussed,
Absolutely.
period.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And lastly, as we uh, talk about some of these vital questions, is what are your spiritual and personal growth?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Yeah.
what
Right.
do you?
What are you looking to do? What are your ideals, or what are your plans, or what are your aspirations for spiritual and personal growth? Is
Absolutely.
there any? Oh no, I'm good. I just, no.
Right.
You want to know these things, right?
Absolutely. And through all of this,
Hmm.
all of these stages, you have to have mutual respect. You have to be able to communicate, have those attributes up front.
Hmm.
Make sure that you are communicating and having those attributes all together so you won't mislead or misunderstand where y'all going.
Okay, we got a question though.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So, what are your deal
Makers.
makers or your deal breakers?
Right.
Okay, you have to come up with that list and see
Hmm.
what you're willing to tolerate
Compromise with.
or accommodate. Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do that.
And if you're having a stand for
Hmm.
something, you're having a stand for something, somebody shouldn't just break you.
Right, right.
You know.
Definitely. Stand. That's the thing. That's the term. If you're taking a stand, then you should continue to stand. Don't let
Absolutely.
anybody break you down from the thing. Unless it's something that can be compromised and worked out, that it does not,
Hmm.
I'm gonna say, um, violate any values.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
so we got
Pretty good. What y'all think? What you think? I mean, just take some of these,
right. Yeah.
you know,
It's a base, it's a start, it's a foundation. Work with it.
take some of these vital questions that we put in here,
Hmm.
and even the discernment, the
Hmm.
development, and all that, and make sure that you have some alignment within yourself
Sure.
when
Sure.
you're ready to get out here and expose yourself to someone else.
Mhm.
You do not want to play around and waste somebody else's time if that's not your goal.
Right.
If your goal is some foundational truths of I want to get out here and I'm serious, I want to make a commitment with someone, I want to see what's out here,
Hmm.
then you have to set the values within yourself
Right. Right. So.
and make sure, I want to say I had a conversation with someone that said that guys, what was the question when I had said that, babe? It was where guys do not. Do you remember when I said that?
Well,
the other day?
concerning marriage is what you're saying.
Right, 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 right.
Right. It was I guess, who gets the benefits?
Right,
Who gets the
right.
most benefits?
And I'm curious
in
to
marriage.
know what
Right.
you all think. It was a statement that was made where a guy said, now he made a general statement like all guys, and I know not all guys feel that way,
Mhm.
but it's like it said that women gets the most benefit when it comes to marriage.
Okay. And that's a question, and I think in that I feel that's going to depend on the relationship.
Yeah.
Who gets the most benefit, or do they benefit equally?
Right.
So just to say women, not necessarily.
Right.
Say men, not necessarily.
Right. And I would say for me, if I was to say that, to answer that question, I feel like we both had a mutual feeling of we will both benefit from this marriage.
But tell us what you think, in your relationship.
Yeah.
What is it? So we like for you to, post, give us some feedback.
Yeah.
Comments, and let us know you're out there. Let us know you're alive. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. And as we said, we got an email. You're welcome to, I'll put it in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Is just keeping it real. .cm@gmail.com.
Yes, just keeping it real. Yeah, definitely. All right. And then the thing too, this is not an all-inclusive list, as we said. You probably got your own ideas, but it's a place to start.
Right.
And again, to kind of keep some track or just the person you're interested in.
So the last question.
Definitely.
What would be your last question?
My last question?
Your last question.
Okay, so gonna ask you this question. Okay, think about it for a minute.
Okay.
Are you looking to date to meet your mate? Or are you looking to date just to kick it?
And waste time.
Yes.
Waste people time. So thanks so much for sliding in over here to our podcast today.
And this is the Thursday dose.
This is your Thursday's dose.
With just keeping it real with Charles and
yeah.
You know it. Yeah, right. So we just want to get to the point tonight, and we hope that you are blessed by what you heard, and we want you to become in our community.
Yeah.
And we correspond. We help each other.
So share, and keep rolling this with us, okay? So y'all have a blessed evening, and until the next episode.
Peace. We out.
Bye.
Love ya.
Bye.